Imagine if your choice between counting steps or minutes could impact your health and longevity. A groundbreaking study from Brigham and Women's Hospital has revealed that both step and time-based exercise goals are equally effective in improving health outcomes and extending lifespan. This means that whether you choose to track your progress by the number of steps you take or the amount of time you spend exercising, the benefits remain the same. In today's world, it's hard to imagine exercising without a smartwatch or fitness tracker. We're all eager to quantify our efforts and see how much we've achieved. But have you ever wondered which method, steps or minutes, is better for reaching your fitness goals? But here's where it gets controversial. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital set out to answer this very question. Their findings, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, suggest that both methods are equally beneficial. The study involved analyzing data from over 14,000 women, and the results showed that higher levels of physical activity, regardless of whether they were measured by steps or time, significantly reduced the risk of death and cardiovascular disease. Steps versus minutes. What's the difference? So, should you focus on counting steps or tracking minutes? According to the study, the choice between steps and minutes may come down to personal preference rather than one being inherently better than the other. Both metrics are effective in promoting health and longevity, so the key is to choose the one that aligns best with your lifestyle and preferences. For example, steps are a straightforward way to measure physical activity and are less prone to interpretation compared to exercise intensity. They also capture sporadic movements throughout the day, which can be particularly beneficial for older adults who may engage in shorter bursts of activity. On the other hand, tracking minutes can be more suitable for activities like cycling or swimming, where step counting isn't practical. This is the study in detail. To delve deeper into the impact of step and time-based metrics on physical activity, the researchers analyzed data from 14,399 women who participated in the Women's Health Study. These women, who were free from cardiovascular disease and cancer, wore research-grade wearable devices for 7 consecutive days to record their physical activity levels. The devices were removed only for sleep or water-related activities. The participants, who were 62 years and older, were followed through the end of 2022. At the time of monitoring, the women engaged in a median of 62 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity per week and accumulated a median of 5,183 steps per day. After a median follow-up of 9 years, about 9% of the participants had died and 4% had developed cardiovascular disease. The study found that higher levels of physical activity, whether measured by step counts or time spent in moderate to vigorous activity, were associated with significant reductions in the risk of death or cardiovascular disease. The most active quarter of women had a 30 to 40% lower risk compared to the least active quarter. Additionally, women in the top 3 quartiles of physical activity outlived those in the bottom quartile by an average of 2.22 to 2.36 months, depending on whether the measurement was based on time or steps. Choosing your metric. Lead author Rukuda Hamaya, MD, PhD, MS, a researcher in the Division of Preventive Medicine at Brigham and Women's Hospital, explained that both step and time-based metrics are valuable for assessing health status. However, each has its own advantages and disadvantages. Step counts, for instance, may not account for differences in fitness levels. A 20-year-old and an 80-year-old walking for 30 minutes at moderate intensity might have very different step counts, despite the same level of effort. On the other hand, steps are easier to measure and less subjective than exercise intensity. They also capture a broader range of daily activities, making them particularly useful for older adults. For younger individuals, activities like tennis, soccer, walking, or jogging can be easily tracked with steps. However, For others, activities such as cycling or swimming might be better monitored by tracking the duration of exercise. And this is the part most people miss. The key takeaway is that physical activity guidelines should offer multiple ways to reach fitness goals. Movement looks different for everyone, and nearly all forms of movement are beneficial to our health. As Dr. Hamaya points out, the next federal physical activity guidelines, scheduled for 2028, should consider including step-based targets to provide more flexibility and accommodate a wider range of preferences, abilities, and lifestyles. Poll: what's your preference? When it comes to measuring your exercise goals, do you prefer counting steps or minutes? Steps, easy to track and captures all daily movements. Minutes, more suitable for activities like cycling or swimming. Final thoughts: whether you choose to count steps or track minutes, the most important thing is to stay active and consistent. Physical activity is crucial for reducing the risk of chronic illness and promoting longevity. The flexibility to choose between steps and minutes allows you to tailor your fitness routine to your personal preferences and lifestyle. What do you think? Do you agree that both steps and minutes are equally effective, or do you have a strong preference for one over the other? Share your thoughts in the comments below.